How do China and India compare education-wise? Let's start with primary and middle schooling. Chinese have 6 core subjects and 3 elective subjects in their first 9 years. Indians also have 6 core subjects and 3 elective subjects in their first 9 years. The core subjects in China are Chinese, mathematics, social studies, science and nature studies, thoughts of Chairman Z, that is ideology and its morality, and labor skills. The core subjects in India are English, mathematics, science, social studies, language 2 and language 3. The elective subjects in China are English, physical education and music or fine arts. The elective subjects in India are PT, that is physical education, project or craft and music or arts. Chinese students write an exam called Zhonggao and its scores decide their placements for grade 10, 11 and 12. Indian students write a board examination in 10th standard and its score decides placement for class 11 and 12. Secondary schooling. Chinese students can choose 3 streams: science stream, general stream or finance stream. Indian students can choose 2 streams, science or arts. Chinese take the school leaving examination and the Gao to be placed in universities. Indian takes the 12th board examination and the JEE and NEET examination to be placed in universities. Chinese further take exams conducted by elite universities or use their Olympiad results for placement into top university. Indians take the JEE to be placed into elite universities. Foreign university education. Chinese and Indian students applying for foreign education in 2023. Chinese students for graduation is 1,62,000 students. Highest in Australia, 75,500. Indian students for graduation, 41,820 students. Highest in Russia, 4,757 students. Chinese students for post-graduation, 87,000 students. Highest in Australia, that is 41,880. Indian students for post-graduation, 7,07,000 students. Highest in Canada, 76,506 students. Chinese students for doctorate, 30,100 students. Highest in USA, 57,200 students. Indian students for doctorate, 2,620 students. Highest in USA, that is 1,870 students. Total 2,79,000 Chinese students applied for an education visa for studies abroad in 2023 compared to 7,05,000 who got education visa in 2019. Around 7,51,000 Indian students applied for a visa for studies abroad compared to 4,04,000 Indian students in 2019. Migration from country. In China, 20.7% of education visa holders change their visa type and don't return home to China for 10 years from 2011 to 2021. In India, 96.15% of the education visa holders change their visa type and don't return home to India for 10 years from 2011 to 2021. Cost of primary and secondary education. The average cost of Chinese education per person for the median population is Rs 2.15 lakhs from ages 6 to 8 in 10 largest cities. This is 5.42% of the annual median household income of these 10 cities. The average cost of Indian education per person for the median population was Rs 10.75 lakhs from ages 3 to 18 in the 10 largest cities. This is 106.83% of the annual median household income of these 10 cities. Cost of university education. The average cost of arts stream education in China is Rs 9.55 lakhs in 10 largest cities for a 4-year education in 21 disciplines. The average cost of arts stream education in India is Rs 7,60,000 in 10 largest cities for a 3-year education in 18 disciplines. The average cost of a STEM education in China is rupees 18.76 lakh in 10 largest cities for a 4-year education in 16 disciplines. The average cost of a STEM education in India is rupees 9.25 lakhs in 10 largest cities for a 4-year education in 12 disciplines. The average cost of a medical education in China is rupees 28.91 lakh in 10 largest cities for a 6-year education. The average cost of a medical education in India is rupees 48.60 lakhs in 10 largest cities for a 6-year education. The cost which I mentioned above for China's education includes tuition, hostel and food. But when we come to India, those costs includes only tuition fees. Education subsidy. Education subsidy. Chinese students get a state subsidy of minimum 40% on tuition and hostel and food. This could extend to 60%, 70% or even 100% in Xinjiang, Zhejiang and Inner Mongolia. This means 100% Chinese students get state subsidies. Indian students get a subsidy only for 15 elite universities in engineering and 16 elite medical colleges. This means 98.76% Indian students get no subsidies from either state or center. State education loan. Every Chinese student by law can get a state education loan for the entire amount of his tuition plus boarding plus food for up to 5 years of arts education, 6 years of STEM education and 8 years of medicine education. This state loan can be repaid with a maximum of 20 years of graduation or 25 years of enrollment, whichever is lesser. The first 10 years are interest free and the next 10 years will levy a 4% annual interest. 100% of Chinese students got state education loan for graduation in 2023. Indian students are not entitled to education loan by law. Indian students can get education loan for up to rupees 7.5 lakh with guarantors and any additional amount needing collateral. The interest rate is 12.75% a year. Only 50.86% Indian students got education loans in 2023. China has 98% public schools and 2% private schools. There are nearly 3.8 lakh private schools and 1.16 lakh trust-based private schools versus 10.25 lakh government schools. In India, nearly 30% private schools. In urban India, this number is almost 65%. The average median income of an Indian family is rupees 5.73 lakh a year as of 2023. The average tuition for 2 kids is rupees 74,500 as of 2023. India spends 2.9% GDP on education. In terms of percentage of GDP, this is similar to China's 3.3%. Yet, in terms of percentage of expenditure, India spends 3.7% of its expenditure on education against 9.85% of China. Chinese education is much affordable and every Chinese can avail the best education without any financial burden. Indian education is not as affordable and many Indians don't get a chance to avail the best education due to lack of money. Indian students are exploited by coaching and private university, which doesn't happen in China. Almost 80% of Chinese students who graduated in US between 2011 and 2021 returned to China, whereas only 4% of Indian students who graduated in US between 2011 and 2021 returned to India.